The rain hammered the church roof like 1,000 accusing fists, drowning out the organ's mournful dirge as the casket gleamed under the stained glass glow of saints who never judged. Justin Hale stood frozen at the back of the pews, heart slamming against his ribs like a prisoner begging for release, watching his own obituary flicker on the program in strangers' hands-beloved son, taken too soon by a tragic accident. He wasn't dead. He was erased, buried alive in their shame because he dared to love a man. And now, with a folder of yellowed receipts clutched in his trembling fist, he was here to resurrect himself and damn them all to the hell they preached. Justin had always been the golden boy of Elmwood, Ohio. The kind of small-town kid who mowed lawns for extra cash and dreamed big enough to escape the cornfields. At 25, with his easy smile and calloused hands from fixing cars at the local garage, he embodied the American promise his parents, Reverend Elias and Martha Hale, preached from their evangelical pulpit every Sunday. Church picnics, youth group barbecues, the whole facade of pious perfection. But beneath it, Justin carried a secret heavier than the Bible his father thumped during sermons on sin and salvation. It started in high school. Those stolen glances at Tommy Reynolds in the locker room. The way his pulse raced not from football drills, but from the brush of a shoulder. He buried it deep, prayed it away in the dim glow of his bedroom cross. But love doesn't kneel to fear. The night it shattered came like a storm without warning. It was a humid July evening in 2023. The air thick with cicadas and the scent of Mama's peach cobbler cooling on the windowsill. Justin had just turned 22, fresh from a semester at community college, majoring in automotive tech because dreams of art school were frivolous vanities. As Papa put it, he'd been dating Sarah from the choir suite. Predictable Sarah for cover. But that night, after a youth group bonfire, he couldn't choke down another lie. They were in the kitchen, Papa wiping grease from his sermon notes, Mama folding linens with rhythmic precision, when Justin's phone buzzed. A text from Alex, the barista at the campus coffee shop who'd caught his eye with a wink and a shared laugh over spilled lattes. Missed you at the rally. Come over. Doors unlocked. Papa snatched the phone before Justin could react, his face crumpling like wet newsprint as he scrolled. What is this abomination? The word hung in the air, venomous and final. Mama gasped, her hands flying to her mouth as if to trap a scream. Justin stammered, the truth spilling out in a rush. I am gay. Papa. I've always been. I can't pretend anymore. The silence that followed was a void, sucking the warmth from the room. Papa's eyes, usually alight with holy fire, went cold as granite. You've killed us all, he whispered, not to Justin, but to God. Our son is dead. They didn't throw him out that night. That would have been merciful. Instead, they staged the funeral in their hearts first. By morning, the family Bible lay open on the coffee table to Leviticus, underlined in red. If a man lies with a male as with a woman, both have committed an abomination. No more meals at the table. No more son in their prayers. Justin slept on the couch for a week, job hunting in secret, until the garage owner, a gruff veteran named Hank, slipped him a lead on a cheap apartment in Columbus. Family ain't blood if it bleeds you dry, kid, Hank muttered, pressing $100 bill into his palm. Justin packed a duffel with jeans, a sketchpad, and the silver cross necklace Mama had given him at baptism, then walked out without a goodbye. The door clicked shut like a coffin lid. Columbus hit him like a fever dream, neon lights bleeding into the Scioto River. Crowds that didn't stare at his frayed flannel. Bars where men held hands without flinching. He crashed on Hank's cousin's floor for a month, wiring money from odd jobs, delivering pizzas through blizzards, sketching portraits for tips at Short North galleries. The first time he kissed a guy, a lanky artist named Riley with tattoos like watercolor stains, it felt like breathing after drowning. But Riley ghosted after a weekend. And Justin learned quick, freedom came laced with its own thorns. Nights blurred into shifts at a dive bar called the Rusty Nail, slinging beers to forgotten souls. His reflection in the smudged mirror showing hollow cheeks and eyes that begged for home. Even one that hated him. Word trickled back through the grapevine his death, announced at church as a car wreck on I-71. Tragic and tidy. Aunt Lydia, the chain-smoking outlier who sent postcards from Vegas, called his burner phone one night, voice cracking over static. "They're planting you in the family plot next month." Justin said it was God's will. "But honey, you're alive. Don't let him win." He hung up, while rising, and drove through the night to a storage unit on the edge of town. There, in a box labeled Papa's Sermons, he found the receipts not his, but theirs. Years ago, as a nosy teen, he'd stumbled on Papa's hidden ledger, tithes funneled to offshore accounts. Hush money for Mama's shopping trips that smelled of bourbon and regret. Proof of the hypocrisy that funded their moral throne. He photocopied it all, tucked it into a manila envelope, and let the plan simmer like whiskey in his gut. 2 years passed in a haze of survival and small victories. Justin landed a gig restoring classic cars at a shop in the short north, his hands finding solace in chrome and oil stains. That's where he met Theo, 30, broad-shouldered with a laugh like summer thunder. A graphic designer who volunteered at the local LGBTQ center. Theo had his own scars, disowned by his Cuban immigrant parents in Miami for the same sin. Rebuilding in Ohio's gray winters. Their first date was falafel at a food truck. Rain pattering on the awning as Theo traced Justin's knuckles. "You got fire in you, Jay. Don't let it burn out." That night, under the flicker of string lights in Theo's loft, Justin let himself fall, bodies tangled in sheets that smelled of sage and safety. Whispers of "I see you" chasing away the ghosts. Love with Theo was a revelation. Messy and real. Weekends hiking Hocking Hills, where they'd steal kisses amid waterfalls. Or lazy Sundays sketching each other nude. Charcoal smudging skin like secrets shared. Theo pushed him to exhibit his artist series of portraits titled Erased Faces. Men and women cast out by faith. Their eyes fierce with reclaimed light. The opening at a gallery on High Street drew a crowd. Theo's arm around his waist as critics murmured approval. "This is you rising," Theo said, pressing lips to his temple. But doubt lingered like fog off the river. Justin's phone stayed silent from Elmwood. Save for Lydia's sporadic texts, "Papa's coughing blood now. Cancer. They're praying for miracles." Guilt gnawed at him. A rat in the walls could he forgive? Or was forgiveness just another cage? The invitation arrived like a curse wrapped in cream paper. Memorial service for Justin Elias Hale. All are welcome to mourn the lost lamb. Theo found him curled on the bathroom floor. The card crumpled in his fist. "Go," Theo urged, voice steady as oak. "Not for them, for you. Take the receipts. Let truth be your eulogy." Justin nodded, the folder heavy as a heartbeat. He drove the 3 hours south in Theo's old Mustang. Rain-slicked highways mirroring the storm in his chest. Elmwood unfolded unchanged, white-steepled church dwarfing Main Street. The diner where he'd flipped burgers as a kid, now serving the same greasy regrets. The parking lot brimmed with cars. Mourners in black spilling from sedans like ink from a spilled well. Justin parked at the edge, hood up against the downpour, watching his cousins mill about little Emma, now 16, clutching at tissue. Uncle Ray, paunchier, shaking hands with false solemnity. Inside, the sanctuary swelled with hymns of redemption. Papa's voice frail but fervent from the pulpit. "Our boy strayed, but God called him home early. Let this be a lesson in purity." Mama sat ramrod straight in the front pew, her once vibrant curls grayed to ash, dabbing eyes that never wept for the living sun. He waited until the casket bearer shired hands from the funeral home hoisted the pine box, empty as their love, toward the aisle. That's when Justin stepped forward, shedding his jacket like a skin, the folder thrust high like a torch. "Papa," he called, voice cutting through the gasp like a blade. Heads whipped, whispers erupting as he strode down the center, water dripping from his hair onto the worn carpet. "If I'm dead, why am I standing here? Or did you bury me to hide your own sins?" Chaos bloomed. Papa staggered against the lectern, face ashen as recognition dawned. "Demon, be gone." But Justin was already at the altar, flipping open the folder, receipts fanning like fallen leaves. Tithe money to Cayman accounts. 2015 $47,000. Mama's charity trips to Atlantic City. Same year. You preached hellfire while gambling souls away. I was a kid when I found this. Kept it quiet for family. But you killed me for truth. While yours festered. Mama rose, hand to her throat, eyes wide with the horror of mirrors. "Justin, you thought I'd stay silent forever." He turned to the congregation, faces a mosaic of shock and dawning shame. "This isn't a funeral. It's a farce. I'm gay. Yes. Alive. Yes. And done pretending your hypocrisy is holy." Emma broke from the pew, wrapping arms around his waist, sobbing into his shirt. "I knew you weren't gone. I prayed you'd come back." Theo's text buzzed in his pocket, proud of you. Firecracker. Home soon. A lifeline amid the unraveling. Papa collapsed into a chair, wheezing, as deacons rushed forward. But Justin knelt beside him, voice softening like rain on parched earth. "I don't want your empire to crumble, Papa. Just your lies. Cancer's eating you. Let truth heal what's left." The old man clutched his hand, fingers bony as branches, whispering, "Forgive me, son. I was afraid." Outside, under eaves dripping like tears, the family splintered and reformed. Lydia arrived late, cigarette in hand, pulling Justin into a hug that smelled of menthols and mercy. "Knew you'd rise, kid." Mama approached tentative, her cross necklace glinting the same one she'd given him. "Can we start over?" He nodded, throat tight, handing her a sketch from his pocket, the two of them in a garden. No thorns. Not from scratch. From here. As the crowd dispersed into the sodden afternoon, Justin walked to the cemetery plot they'd reserved, fresh earth mounded like a scar. He scattered the receipts into the wind, watching them whirl away like confetti from a warped parade. Dead no more. He was reborn in the ruins of their making. Back in Columbus, Theo waited with dinner simmering and arms open, their love a quiet revolution. And in Elmwood, whispers spread, the prodigal son returned. Not to beg, but to teach. Love wasn't sin. Denial was the true grave. In the heart of America's heartland, one man's truth cracked the facade, planting seeds of grace in barren soil. The drive back blurred through twilight, radio humming old Springsteen about highways and ghosts. Justin's phone lit up with text from Emma, "Love you, cousin." From Hank, heard the buzz. "Beers on me." Even a hesitant one from Uncle Ray, "Proud today." But it was Theo's voice, gravelly over speakerphone. That anchored him. "You okay, Jay?" "Yeah." He breathed, Ohio rolling by like forgiven miles. "More than okay. I'm free." Their loft glowed against the skyline, windows fogged from the stove's steam. Theo met him at the door, pulling him close, lips brushing the salt from his cheeks. "Tell me everything." Over plates of arroz con pollo, Theo's abuela's recipe. A taste of roots reclaimed, they unraveled the day. Justin sketched it out on a napkin, the gasp, the fall, The fragile bridge to Papa's bedside vigil that night. He admitted it. Theo. The fear, not the faith. Said he envied my courage. Theo's eyes, dark as midnight coffee, held his. You gave him that. You're changing them. One crack at a time. Nights deepened into autumn. Leaves carpeting the streets in crimson confession. Justin's art show toured to Cincinnati. Erased faces now including his self-portrait, him at the pulpit. Folder in hand. Light-piercing stained glass like hope. Sales funded a scholarship at the Center Hale Hart Fund. For queer youth cast out. Theo designed the logo. A phoenix etched in ink and fire. Their life wove tighter, mornings tangled in sheets. Theo's fingers tracing the scars on Justin's back from a bar fight he'd never speak of. Evenings at the center. Co-facilitating groups where stories echoed his own. Turning pain to power. Papa's chemo-blurred holidays Thanksgiving at Lydia's. A tense truce with hospital jello and forced smiles. Mama softened first. Mailing clippings of pride parades. Her script shaky but sincere. Learning. Son. Easter brought breakthrough. Papa. Bald and brittle. Attending a virtual session Justin hosted on family reconciliation. No sermons. Just tears and truths. I declared you dead to save face. He croaked. But you lived louder than my God. Justin forgave. Not with words, but with presence driving down monthly. Theo in tow. Their joined hands a quiet testament. Spring bloomed defiant. Cherry blossoms dusting the Scioto like confetti from that long-ago wind. Justin proposed on a bridge at dawn. Ring a simple band etched with receipts of the heart. Theo laughed through tears. Yes. You dramatic fool. Their wedding was small Hank officiating in a bow tie. Emma as best woman. Lydia toasting with bourbon neat. Vows echoed the church's once. In sickness and health. In truth and tempest. Papa watched via video. Mama beside him. Her hand on his. Beautiful. She whispered. Years folded like well-worn pages. Justin's shop thrived. Restoring not just cars, but lives apprentices from the center learning wrenches and worth. Theo's designs graced billboards for equality campaigns. Their home a haven of sketches and spices. Children came via surrogacy. 2 boys with Theo's curls and Justin's hazel gaze. Filling the loft with chaos and light. Visits to Elmwood evolved. Papa. In remission. Preaching inclusion from his pulpit. Mama baking cobbler for pride potlucks. On the 10th anniversary of that rainy resurrection. Justin stood at the family plot, now a garden of wildflowers. Receipts long rotted to earth. Theo's arm around him. Kids chasing fireflies. We made it. Justin murmured. Theo kissed his temple. You made it. We just get to share the light. In America's fractured heart. One man's walk from the grave sparked a legacy. Love declares no one dead. It resurrects us all. But wait. That's not the end life stories loop. Don't they? A year later. Emma called in a panic. Papa's sick again. Bad. Justin dropped tools mid-weld. Theo bundling the boys as they raced south. The hospital smelled of bleach and regret. Papa's room a dim vigil. Knew you'd come. He rasped. Eyes milky but sharp. Tell me. About your boys. Hours spilled into stories. Little Mateo, scoring his first goal. Luca's obsession with dinosaurs. Papa's laugh, a rattle of redemption. He passed at dawn. The window framing a sky bruised purple. Funeral this time was honest, full pews. No empty box. Justin eulogized. Voice steady. He wasn't perfect. None of us are. But he chose light at the end. Mama clung to him after. Whispering. Your receipts saved us. Back home. They planted a tree in the yard oak for strength. Roots deep as forgiveness. Theo found him sketching that night. The boys asleep. What's this one? A family tree. branches twisting towards sun. Us, Justin said. All of us. Their kiss tasted of salt and future. A promise etched in time, from declared dead to eternally alive. Love's receipts never expire. The summer after Papa's passing stretched lazy and luminous. Ohio's heat wave mirroring the slow burn of grief's thaw. Justin threw himself into the shop. Chrome gleaming under fluorescent buzz as engines purred back to lifelike, coaxing souls from silence. Theo balanced it with quiet insistence. Park picnics by the river, where the boys splashed in shallows. Their giggles a balm on raw edges. You're not the fixer of everything, Theo teased one evening, handing him a beer from the cooler. Foam spilling like unspoken fears. Justin pulled him down onto the blanket. The grass tickling their backs. Says the man who redesigned my heart. Laughter bubbled. Easy now. Woven into the fabric of their days. Mama moved up north that fall, selling the Elmwood parsonage for a cozy bungalow in German village close enough for Sundays. Far from ghosts. Her arrival was tentative, boxes labeled kitchen and memories. Unpacked with stories over coffee. Your father. He kept that ledger hidden even from me, she confessed one afternoon. Flour-dusted hands kneading dough for biscuits. Justin sat at the counter. Mateo coloring dinosaurs nearby. I knew bits. Felt the weight. Her eyes. Faded blue. Met his. I was complicit. Prayed you'd change. Not us. He covered her hand with his. Change came anyway. We're here. The center thrived under their stewardship. Hale Hart scholarships blooming into a full program internships. Art therapy. Even a pride float for the Columbus parade that drew cheers like thunder. Justin mentored a kid named Riley. Irony's sharp edgewood fled a similar small-town sentencing. They said I was cursed, Riley muttered during their first session. Tattoos fresh and defiant. Justin shared his sketchpad, lines flowing into a portrait of unbroken wings. Curses are just stories we outgrow. Winter wrapped them in snow and simplicity, holiday lights strung across the loft. Theo's family, his sister flying in from Miami with tamales and tales of Abuela's old letters. Now cherished relics. The boys' first Hanukkah-Christmas mashup involved lax and a menorah-lit tree. Chaos crowned by Luca's serenade of off-key carols. Mama joined. Her cross swapped for a Star of David necklace for the light in all faiths. She said, winking at Justin. Papa's absence lingered. A soft ache. But they toasted him with eggnog. To the man who learned to love late. Spring brought renewals. A gallery in Chicago wanted erased faces for a queer history exhibit. Theo drove. The Mustang loaded with frames and dreams. Boys farmed out to Mama. The city pulsed electric. Lake Michigan's chill bite. Skyline scraping clouds. Opening night a whirl of clinking glasses and critiques that hummed approval. This series guts you, a curator said. Hand on Justin's shoulder. Raw power. Theo, in a sharp vest that hugged his frame, leaned in later amid the crowd. My artist's famous. Their hotel room that night was a tangle of celebrations, low dances to jazz from the radio. Bodies mapping years of want. Back home. Routine reasserted, shop deadlines. Center meetings. Bedtime stories laced with lessons of courage. But cracks showed in the quiet hours. Justin waking sweat slick from dreams of empty caskets. Theo's arms a harbor. It's the what-ifs. He admitted one midnight. Stars pricking the ceiling. Theo traced his jaw. No ifs. Only us. Therapy helped. A space Theo insisted on, unpacking the funeral's echo. Rebuilding on solid ground. Summer circled back. Hotter. Older. Emma graduated high school. Valedictorian with a speech on shadows to spotlight, a nod to Justin that drew tears and applause. He walked her across the stage in Elmwood's gym. The same one where he dodged dodgeballs as a kid. You showed me truth's a superpower, she whispered, cap tassel swinging. Lydia crashed the after-party. Vegas flare in sequence. Toasting, to the hails rising from receipts. Theo's surprise came in August, a road trip south. Mustang gassed for Nashville's Neon Pulse. Anniversary detour. He grinned. Playlist thumping Johnny Cash and K.D. Lang. They honky-tonked through nights alive with fiddles and flirtation. Days hiking Smokies where mist clung like secrets. One ridgetop evening. Sunset bleeding gold. Theo knelt again, not with ring, but resolve. Marry me every year. J. Renew it all. Justin laughed, pulling him up into a kiss that tasted of pine and promise. Every damn day. Fall deepened colors. Leaves a carpet for the boys' first school plays. Mateo as a lion. Roaring fierce. Luca as a tree. Branches wide. Mama hosted Halloween. Her bungalow a haunt of cobwebs and cobbler. Neighbors gawking at the new widow Hale with her son and his husband. No shame in her smile. Progress, she quipped, passing pumpkin spice. Winter's grip loosened into a mild December. Center's holiday drive a frenzy of donations. Justin sketched donors' faces, grateful eyes. Hands clasped, turning gratitude to art. A local paper profiled him, from funeral crasher to community pillar. Reads poured in. One from a Texas teen, your story saved me. Coming out tomorrow. Theo framed it by the door. A talisman. Spring 2030 bloomed with big news. Theo's firm landed a national campaign for trans rights. Billboards from coast to coast. Justin tagged along to the launch in D.C. Boys in tow. Cherry blossoms swirling like confetti. The mall echoed with speeches. Justin's heart swelling at the sea of flags, rainbow threads in democracy's weave. This is why, Theo said, arm around him amid the throng. For them. Dinner that night, Ethiopian injera and injera laughs. Planning expansions, maybe a center branch in Elmwood. Mama volunteering. Summer heat peaked with a family reunion at Hocking Hills. Emma bringing her girlfriend. Shy but sparkling. Lydia with poker tales. Cousins thawing old frosts. Campfire stories circled. Papa's hypocrisies aired gentle. Receipts a punchline now. He'd laugh at that. Uncle Ray chuckled. Poking embers. Justin nodded. Theo's hand warm in his. He is. Autumn whispered changes. Justin's 40th loomed. Gray threading his temples like silver wisdom. Theo threw a bash at the shop, vintage cars polished. Friends toasting with craft brews. Speeches flowed. Hank's gruff, proud as hell. Riley's you rebuilt me. Mama's toast cracked him. My son. Declared dead. Now life's loudest voice. Winter brought snow angels and a quiet scare. Mama's hip. Surgery swift. They rallied. Boys drawing get well cards with crayons bold. Recovery was slow walks in the park. Justin pushing her chair. Theo scouting ramps. Family's a verb, she said, squeezing his hand. You taught me that. Spring 2031 unfurled with exhibits abroad. London calling for erased faces. They jetted. Boys with mama. City streets a maze of history and hold. Tate modern walls held his work. Whispers of revolutionary. Theo's pride shone brighter than the Thames. World sees you now. Summer's road trip looped west. Badlands, echoing resilience. Boys wide-eyed at Mount Rushmore's stern gaze. Presidents lied too. Mateo quipped. Earning laughs. Nashville encore. Fiddles faster. Love deeper. Fall harvest. Center's 5th-year gala. Black tie under tents. Justin emceed. Voice carrying tales of transformation. A donor pledged big for a Hale house. Shelter for the cast out. Theo's eyes misted. Legacy. Winter solstice. Lights twinkling. Family full. Papa's tree ornament, a tiny folder. Gold swung gentle. Receipts of joy. Luca declared. Hugging tight. Life's ledger balanced, from erasure to embrace. Justin's walk etched eternal. Love. The ultimate receipt. Tallied infinite grace. Yet grace wasn't linear. It zigzagged like lightning over Ohio plains. Mid-2031. A letter arrived, crisp envelope from a law firm in Cleveland. Seal unbroken. Justin slid it open over breakfast. Theo buttering toast for the boys. The words blurring, bequest from Elias Hale estate. Family home deeded to Justin Elias Hale, Jr. With addendum. His pulse stuttered. Papa's will. Contested by cousins who'd circled like vultures post-funeral. Now settled in his favor. The parsonage? Theo asked. Brow furrowed. Justin nodded. Throat dry. And a note. Build on truth's foundation. Mama advised caution over tea. It's tainted. Son. Ghosts in the walls. But Emma championed. Reclaim it. Turn it into something for us. The idea sparked a queer youth haven. Right in Elmwood's heart. Receipts redeemed as bricks. Theo sketched blueprints. Dorms with skylights. Art studios sunlit. A chapel repurposed for circles. Not sermons. Fundraisers flowed. Gallery auctions. Center drives. Lydia's Vegas jackpot tossed in with flair. Summer construction hummed. Dust devils dancing as crews hammered hope. Justin oversaw. Hands blistered. Heartful boys helping with toy tools. Theo's designs blooming from paper to stone. Opening day dawned crisp September. Ribbon cut amid rainbow banners fluttering like prayers answered. First residence, a trans teen from Toledo. Eyes wary then wide. A non-binary artist fleeing Kentucky kin. This is home. One whispered. Justin knelt. Yours to build. Fall deep in resolve. Center's Columbus branch linked arms with Elmwood's. Shuttles ferrying stories across counties. Justin's book deal landed receipts from the grave. A memoir of resurrection penned in stolen hours. Theo reading drafts by firelight. Raw. He'd say. Kissing knuckles. Real. Winter's chill tested foundations. A storm ripped shingles. Leaks weeping like old sins. Volunteers rallied Hank with ladders. Riley with paint-turning repair to ritual. Mama hosted soup nights in her bungalow. Ladle in hand. Warmth mends more than mortar. Spring 2032 burst verdant. Book launch at the Elmwood Haven, crowd spilling onto lawns once pious. Readings echoed that rainy aisle. Folder high. Truth's thunder. Signings stretched till dusk. Fans sharing scars. You gave me words for my silence. Theo beamed from the wings. Boys hawking merch with entrepreneurial glee. Summer tours pulled them east. New York readings in indie shops. Buzz building. Times Review glowed. Hale's prose bleeds authenticity. Royalties funded scholarships. Ripples widening. Nashville detour, fiddles and family. Emma's wedding to her girl, a hilltop vow. Justin walking her. Tears blurring the aisle, irony sweet. Fall harvest gala, Haven's first anniversary. Lanterns glowing. Residents performed poetry slams. Drag lip syncs joy defiant. A donor's check sealed expansions. Counseling wing. Named for Papa Elias Light. Winter solstice circle, Haven hearth. Story shared. Justin spoke last. From declared dead to this fiery the proof love wins. But wins weren't without wars. Spring brought backlash. Elmwood holdouts picketing the Haven. Signs scrawled Sodom's gate. News crews swarmed. Justin facing Mike's calm. Hate builds walls. Love opens doors. Theo's arms steadied him off camera. They're scared of mirrors. Summer heat amplified tinciance a rock through a window. Shards like shattered halos. Police dithered. But community surged. Vigils with candles. Locals denouncing division. Mama confronted a protester-old parishioner voice steal. My son rose from your judgments. Try grace. Fall cooled tempers. Book climbing bestsellers. Tour to L.A. Beaches and panels. Boys bodyboarding waves. Hollywood Whispers, adaptation. Justin laughed it off with Theo over tacos. Our story's no script too messy. Winter's quiet. Haven Holiday Market. Stalls of crafts and cocoa. A former picketer bought a scarf. Mumbling apology. Starting somewhere. Justin replied. No folder needed. Spring 2033. Film rights sold. Indie director passionate. Script reads in the loft. Boys as extras in dreams. Construction on the wing. Hammers hemming progress. Summer premiere tease. Table red in Columbus. Cast circling tails. Theo's designs for set stained glass reimagined rainbow. Fall leaves fell as leaves turned, old foes to allies. Some. A church merger. Inclusive now. Partnering with the Haven. Winter's end. Oscar buzz premature. But pride swelled. Justin's 40th belated balloons and bourbon. Theo's vow renewed under mistletoe. Life's plot twisted on, from grave to grace. Receipts tallied triumphs untold. Triumphs, though, carried their undercurrent tides of doubt that lapped at high water marks. Mid-2033. During a lull in promo chaos, Justin found himself adrift in the shop's back office. Ledger open not to finances, but to sketches unfinished, faces half-formed. Eyes shadowed. Theo noticed over dinner. Boys chattering about school plays. What's haunting you? Jay. Fork paused midair. Justin sighed, pushing peas around his plate. The book's out. Haven's thriving. But what if it's not enough? What if I fade back to footnotes? Theo's hand crossed the table. Warm anchor. You're not a footnotery the whole damn book. That night, they walked the Scioto under street lamps' halo. Crisp, air-nipping heels. Remember Elmwood. You walked in. Folder blazing. That's your Corona raceable. Justin leaned into him. River murmuring agreement. Therapy resumed. Gentle unspooling, survivor's weight. The ghost of erasure. Spring swelled with screenings, test audiences in L.A. Feedback a mosaic car trenching. Authentic. Director Mia. A queer Latina firebrand. Skype daily. Your voice stays central. Justin. No Hollywood polish on pain. Boys thrilled at cameos Luca as young Justin. Curls wild. Summer scorched filming. Ohio stands doubled for Elmwood. Rain machines drenching sets. Justin consulted on set. Heart hammering as actors nailed the aisle scene folder thrust. Gasps real. Nailed it. He told the lead. A rising star with his own coming out scars. Wrap party, bonfire by the river. Cast toasting to receipts. Fall premiered at Toronto, red carpet, awkward thrill. Theo dashing in tux. Justin's suit tailored sharp. Reviews erupted, a gut punch resurrection tale. Q&As poured emotion, fans weeping. It mirrored my funeral metaphorical. After party dances till dawn. Theo's whisper hot, my hero. Winter awards buzz hummed, Golden Globe nods. Oscar whispers. Haven Holiday Bash amplified residents screening clips. Cheers echoing. Mama preened, my boy's a star. But stardom's glare cast shadows. Spring 2034. Tabloid trash hails hidden hypocrisy. Twisting old ledgers into smears. Trolls swarm socials. Venom vile. Justin unplugged. Retreating to the shop. Wrench in hand. Theo rallied, center statement. Truth withstands trials. Backlash boomerang supporters surging. Book sales spiking.